Reborn Rich is literally one of the best things to come out in recent years, and you have never watched it. There are only a few ways you'll see in this video. You either clicked on this through your YouTube feed, you got notified in your subscription box, or I sent this video directly to you because after countless times of telling you to watch this series, you still haven't. So here's 7 minutes of being reminded to go watch it. I originally found this TV series when I was scrolling through Letterboxd when I came across a movie called A Werewolf Boy, which, sitting back and thinking about it now, I think is a crazy title for a film. A Werewolf Boy. A singular boy who is in fact a werewolf. Where is this wolf boy? Is it just him or are there more? Wait, no, the title answered that question. However, through some more searching, I found the TV show called Reborn Rich, since it's the same main actor, Song Joong-ki, and I apologize because I'm going to butcher that name for the next 10 minutes. Reborn Rich is a story about a man who was murdered by the company he works for, only to be reborn into the family as its youngest son. He was coming up on that long service leave and the company was just not having it. I've seen this series a total of 9 times now, and I cannot explain it, but I just keep coming back. And maybe I'm lost in the sauce and I can't see this show for what it really is, but I love this show. When he is reborn, spoiler alert, he's reborn in this show, he jumps back about 20 years and is reborn as the youngest grandson of the family he worked for, the last in line for the Sunyang Empire. The whole show revolves around him using his knowledge of the future, his business-savvy mind, and manipulating the egos of his aunts and uncles to get toward his ultimate goal: own the Sunyang Empire. Now he jumps back roughly 20 years in the same timeline, meaning that his old life, Hyun-woo, is still going on, while his new life of Jin Do-jun is going on as well. One of the major rules of the time travel aspect of the show is whatever happened in his old life is going to happen again in this life, both good and bad. The contrast between the scenes of him watching his old life happen while he's sort of bound to stay away are touching, showing that he can never go back to his old life and be with his old family again. Even when he tries to help out his old life financially, he can't impact or change anything at all for the better. That's probably why I like Parasite so much as well, because of the contrast between the uber rich and the people just trying to make their way in the world is astonishing, and done really well in both of these pieces of media. The show uses the time travel aspect and pieces of South Korea's history to further the plot. Every other episode featuring a TV segment to explain what South Korea is going through at this point in time, because South Korea as a country has had a hard trek to get where it is today. The show uses these TV segments to place the viewer in with Do-jun, and since he knows what's going to happen, we as the viewer always feel like we have the upper hand against the characters in this series.
한국 정부가 IMF에 약속한 상환 기한은 3년 뒤 2004년이었어. 월스트리트에서도 이렇게 빠른 속도로 갚을 거라 예상한 사람은 아무도 없었다고. 설명 좀 해봐. 어떻게 이번에도 당신만 정확하게 예측했냐는 거야. IMF가 시작될 때랑 똑같이. Calm down.
Another major factor of my love for the show is the relationship between Do-jun and his grandfather, Jin Yan-chol. This is literally the best thing about this show. Whenever the two of them are on screen, it is the greatest thing in television history, as both of these actors are just phenomenal. And I know you're probably watching this clip I'm showing and going, oh, they look okay, but I can't see anything spectacular. You know, understandable. But the first time I watched the show, I was just struck with how high the tension gets in some of these scenes, just watching this absolute powerhouse of a person who probably has more money than all of South Korea put together at the time, make decisions that impact hundreds of thousands of people's lives is amazing.
진도준입니다.
So Sunyang is the company that the grandfather has built up from the ground himself, and he has basically one rule for passing down the company when he dies: primogeniture. That's the one. The oldest gets it all. So when Do-jun is reborn, he has 2 uncles and an aunt, all of whom he used to work for, so he knows everything about them. And he needs to strategically remove them from the succession plan so he can swoop in and take it all. Now, I really don't want to spoil anything from this show, so please go watch it. It's literally on nothing at all, so have fun finding it. Netflix says they have it, so maybe chuck on a VPN or something, I don't know. But he doesn't remove his obstacles by just hiring a hitman. Would be so much easier. He uses his knowledge and intelligence to decredit them in the eyes of his grandfather, showing him that they're not worthy of inheriting the company. A huge factor of my enjoyment for the series is that when he goes back in time, it's never questioned by the people around him, because to them, he was born into the family. There's no such thing as time travel. So they think that he's just a lucky little brat who keeps getting lucky knowing all these things, which I love. One of the most annoying things to me in time travel movies or shows is people going back in time and the people around them figuring out they're from the future. To me, it's overdone, and I'm so glad it doesn't happen here. I've given some props to the 2 stars of the show, but I think some serious props needs to be given to all the other actors and actresses since they all knock it out of the park. Seeing them play an extremely high-ranking individual, all with their own schemes and plays they're trying to make, to watching them be outclassed and outmatched at every turn is just so satisfying, and I think they play it so well to really bring out the catharsis in the story, especially for the viewer. Now, you may look at this series and think, oh, there's 16 total episodes, all about an hour long, that's not too bad, but I will correct you there are 15 total episodes. The series ends at 1 hour, 1 minute, and 20 seconds of the 15th episode. Once you hit this mark, do not continue. You've been warned. Well, that was my 7 minutes. Go watch my favorite TV show of all time, even though I named both of my cats after characters from Game of Thrones. Oh, and subscribe already.